Let me read to you a passage from the 16th chapter of St. Luke's Gospel, verses 1 to 8. It's the Gospel for Friday of the 31st week of Ordinary Time. Jesus told his disciples, "There was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and asked him, 'What is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management, because you cannot be manager any longer.' The manager said to himself, 'What shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do, so that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses.' So he called in each one of his master's debtors. He asked the first, 'How much do you owe my master?' 800 gallons of olive oil,' he replied. The manager told him, 'Take your bill, sit down quickly, and make it 400. Then he asked the second, 'And how much do you owe?' 1,000 bushels of wheat,' he replied. He told him, 'Take your bill and make it 800. The master commended the dishonest manager because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of light." That's from Luke chapter 16, verse 1 to 8. What does it suggest to us? Well, Kerry Packer, who lived from 1937 to 2005, was a well-known Australian media tycoon. The son of Sir Frank Packer, the family company owned a controlling interest in the Nine television network and the Australian Consolidated Press, which later merged to form Publishing and Broadcasting Limited, PBL. At the time of his death, he was estimated by many to be the richest man in Australia. In 2004, Business Review Weekly magazine considered his wealth to be at $6.5 billion. Kerry's son, James Packer, became executive chairman of PBL. Kerry's primary schooling suffered greatly when he was stricken with a severe bout of poliomyelitis at age 8, and he was confined to an iron lung for 9 months. It is said that his father thought little of his son's abilities, once describing him, so the talk goes, as the family idiot. As it turns out, the family idiot subsequently took PBL to levels far beyond anything his father or brother achieved. It seems that this nickname his father gave Kerry made him strive to new heights in schooling, trying to achieve A grades. One end-of-year report said he was one of the most notable students. On that point, in an interview, former employee Trevor Sykes stated that he didn't read much on the printed page. If you didn't want Kerry to read something, you wrote more than one-page memo. But if there was one thing clear about Kerry Packer's life, it was that he aimed to be rich, and he reached his goal. He had a high life as well, not to mention other matters. There was his gambling. In 1999, it was reported that a 3-week losing run at London casinos cost him almost $28 million, described at the time as the biggest reporting gambling loss in British history. On the other hand, one report had it that he won $33 million at the Grand Casino in Las Vegas, and that he often won as much as $7 million each year during his annual holidays in the UK. I suppose we could say that Kerry Packer is an instance of a man of ability aiming to do well in life in terms of what this life can offer. He was admired by many precisely because he was rich and because he got richer. He was shrewd in the matter of gaining great wealth, knowing what had to be done to get there, and taking very effectively the practical steps that were necessary. But what of the next step? That which follows this short life? Well, the great man had something to say about this too. His busy and varied life took its toll on his heart. He reportedly suffered as many as 8 heart attacks. In 1990, while playing polo at Warwick Farm, Sydney, he suffered a heart attack that left him clinically dead for 6 minutes. He was revived by paramedics and then airlifted to St Vincent's Private Hospital, Sydney, and received a bypass surgery. In a press conference, he later remarked on his temporary oblivion, "I've been on the other side, and let me tell you, son, there's nothing there. There's no one waiting there for you, and there's no one to judge you, so you can do what you like." If this was a true report, then it confirms the general impression that he lived for the goals of this life and presumably received a big surprise when he finally did pass from this earthly scene in 2005. He was incidentally a great benefactor to certain causes, such as St Vincent's Hospital and the New South Wales Ambulance Service. Now all of this, meant only as an introduction and as an example, brings us to our gospel today, in which our Lord makes this sad point: the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of light. Luke 16, verse 1 to 8. If a man can spend himself to real effect, attaining the goals that this life alone may offer, what are the children of the light? Those who know that Christ is the only light of the world, what are they doing? All this is to say that we must be up and doing in respect to the one thing necessary. It is not necessary that we seek and gain abundant riches of this world, but it is necessary that we become rich in the things of God. What are those things? Being rich in God means loving Jesus Christ with our whole heart and mind, accepting in heartfelt and practical manner his revelation, and building our whole life in practical fashion on his teaching. It means striving to bring the knowledge and love of him to the world around us, so as to become rich in what God regards as essential, souls for his eternal kingdom. Let us learn from the people of this world so as to be effective children of the light.